Alrighty, for the first time in 2 trade deadlines, we're not selling. We are re-signing the core. We're going to spend that money that we made sure to have in our back pocket for this exact situation. Is Logan? How? Okay, last season, Cam Harden, who was 26, had a 5-touchdown pass game, and you did not give him a breakout. And in my head, I'm like, that's bullshit, but he's 26, whatever. Logan Gibbs is 22 years old and just had a 5 Booker T, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. He threw a passing touchdown, and he doesn't get a breakout. Why? This should be the week that he aims to go superstar. Frustrating. 5 touchdown passes was not enough for him to get a breakout moment. It's so random sometimes. Marco Macklin, buddy, let's pay you 4 years, boatload of money, but we're keeping you. Hell yeah. Welcome back, Marco Macklin. That's what I'm talking about. Best receiver in the game. Camera's desynced. You're desynced. Let me know if it's still messed up, and I'm talking. Am I in sync? Bye. Okay. Junior Beckwith. We obviously want to keep you too. We're going to have to give you a little bit of extra money. We still have $95 million in cap space. And Junior Beckwith is back. Khalid, the Dream Callahan. 1-year deal for you. Ooh, he wants more money. Surprising. Christian White. We definitely want to bring you back. Oh, God, he wants so much money. Fuck. Oh, God, that's a lot of money. Whew. That complicates things just a smidge. Just a smidge. Fuck. Kendrick, can I keep you if I overpay you? You are a very good third choice wideout. He's going to want a lot of money too. Again, we have a lot of money to spend, but still. Devin Fowler also wants a lot of money heading into an advanced age. Oh, God. Oh, Bart Flowers. Only wants a... Oh, God. Okay. Okay. This... Yeah. Okay. Okay. Shit. This might have to be our last season. This might have to be our last one. We gave Marco Macklin all the money, but dude, he's essentially a 99 overall wide receiver. Whatever. We gave Khalid Callahan, or we're going to give Khalid Callahan an extension. Who else just got money from us? Who am I thinking? Who else just got money from me? Beckwith. And that's a decent raise. Shit.
I'm just trying to walk through this fucking grass.
Shout out to Hope Vidyas. Follow. Okay. Oh God. Okay. This is not what I needed right now at all. Just to potentially screw things up with the team and how well they're simming. Like I said, Marco Macklin was worth keeping. I mean, he's insane. He's fine. We could look for an improvement on Kendrick Justice, who's younger and has a contract beyond this season, in case Justice does want to go. Same for Christian White, because he wants all the money. And same for former Super Bowl MVP Fowler. There is no 1-year replacement for Khalid Callahan. Like, you cannot replace him. Like, I will give him the money so that he comes back. Okay, so we have first-round picks to pull off trades. who is out there in terms of linebackers who are better than White that would be worth investing that money to? Like, Christian White's asking for more money than Tim Taggart, which is insane. Tim Taggart, who he's happy. Oh, okay, so it actually only shows his current motivations. Interesting. Interesting. He wouldn't resign here, is my guess. I thought it showed his motivations if we were to get him. So there's Tim Taggart in Chicago. I don't know how the Bears are doing this season. Andy Saucedo, who used to be ours. Is there another linebacker? Or is he able to command that type of a request because the market is trash? And if we're looking at this, the market's trash. I mean, I could make an in-division trade with the frickin' Niners, but I feel like that would be a horrible mistake. He's able to command that price because in terms of dominant linebackers, there's Antoine Gold, who's hidden. But we want to win this year. We don't want another project necessarily. Chuck Church. What a name. So that's why he's able to command an asking price like that. The market sucks. The only other option would be to flip him for Tim Taggart, and then Taggart puts us into the same situation next year and probably asks for even more money, but at an older age. There's not much we can do about the fact that White wants that much money. We're just kind of stuck. He's one of the best in his position. And if I had to guess, he's got to be listed at like top 3, right? If we look at his ratings, he's the second best outside linebacker, left outside linebacker in the league behind Taggart. Shit. That's rough. What about on the right with Fowler, who is 29? Again, I'd love to keep him. What do we got on the right side? Justin Robertson's 28, so he's not that much younger. Man, in terms of like quality linebackers, they just didn't generate, did they? Derek Massey's on a decent deal. That would be an okay trade. You know, to the UDFA run, I'm going to know, like, okay, what positions need, like, an XP boost or a little bit of a boost to be better. And, you know, like, so, like, left outside linebacker, apparently, I don't know if it's bad luck or if, like, hey, we'll be putting up the slider in our next franchise to make sure that generates a little bit better. Nick Mixon's 30. Reeves is only a 78. Like, again, we don't want to regress. The Giants have a young X-Factor level. Clayton Hanna, he was the second overall pick this year. The Giants do have a linebacker where we could get younger but still be half decent. Jordan Landry was also in this last draft. But is that too big of a hit to the overall? On Brown on the Raiders. All right, there are better trade options for Fowler, this we know, if we wanted to make a move there. At corner, there's going to be nobody who compares to Khalid Callahan. There are going to be younger options, but they're not going to be as good. Like this guy like Kelvin Livingston, who's not quite as good, 29, about the same age. There is Dominique Boykin, who's what, a year younger? It's going to be worth keeping Khalid Callahan. Although, I mean, you future-proof with Pat Donaldson, it makes us worse now. Kind of robs the Colts a little bit of a really good building block. Do we pay our boys? Again, it is the deadline. We have to decide this week how we want to handle this. There are players that we could deal Callahan for. Very few. But there are players. Like I said, I'm looking at the high-end ratings. More than anything right now. Or to see someone with an X Factor. Okay. And then the other spot is wide receiver. Is there another younger option? Deontay Franks. I mean, the Bears could be Justice and White for Franks and Taggart. It's not the worst. It would still keep our team good while not having to hand out the massive contract. Damn. I wouldn't switch somebody to punter. That's a bit too cheap for my liking. That's a bit too cheap. There's some things that are kind of cheesy, and then that's just outright. That's just cheap as shit. Okay. In terms of younger wide... Oh, the Colts. Brackens is 27. And they had the corner. I mean, Chicago and Indy are teams where we could kind of look to pull off a double trade. Smith is 35 years old. Shaq Franklin. Shaq Franklin on Atlanta could certainly be a target. Got 2 years left on that deal. There is somebody we could trade for in pretty much every position. It's either we sign the guys that we have or we use the draft picks that we have to pull off big deals that could technically make us worse now, but then better in the long term. But again, like, we're so focused on winning a championship this year. Let me double check these demands. So again, Callahan, we know it'll have to be next week. He's only 29. There are some younger corners. Christian White's the second best linebacker, or the second best player in his position in the league, and he wants to get paid like it, but that's insane. That is insane to give that dude $20 million a year. But he is also 26. Again, Taggart was 29. Justice is an easier flip. Fowler also wants to get paid heavily, close to $20 million a year. We can't give all these guys that money. We just can't do it. I haven't even looked at what the hell's going on with Bart Flowers, but I mean, it's the corner situation. Whew, might be best to go for it now and see what happens in free agency. Yeah. Chicago, though. You were an interesting team because you had the one linebacker that is technically an improvement on Christian White. White is 26, but on an expiring deal and wants a major contract. Taggart is 29, but has an extra year, would get paid $4 or $5 million less, and still has an extra year, and is an X factor. And then wide receiver, they had Deontay Franks, who there are other better, younger wideouts there, but Franks would be a good replacement for Justice. So if we were to go Franks and Taggart for Christian White and Kendrick Justice, technically it makes us better now. It might hurt us in the long term, but financially it probably helps. We would have to give up a bit to make this happen in terms of draft picks, but we're in full Tampa Bay Lightning mode of not giving a damn about draft picks right now. There's always ways to recoup picks. White for Taggart, Justice for Franks, 2/3. I can't pay Christian White $25 million a season. I can't do it. It's going to take a couple more picks, but I think we're going to look to do this deal with the Bears. I think we are. We get direct replacements. We only have to give up draft picks to do it. It's probably going to take a second rounder, but the fact that we keep those firsts is insane. It is going to take a second-round pick. But to me, that's still worth it. It is still worth it. Let's assess where the value is. A second, the current later of the 2/3, which I believe is our own. And then we should be able to get over the line with 4th rounders. And we have plenty of 4th rounders. Yeah. One more 4th should do it. So White, Justice, a second, a third, and 2 4ths to technically upgrade by getting Franks and Taggart, and also we get a little bit more contract control. Is it a done deal? It's a done deal. So a very, very big deal with the Bears to show that we are going for it. At 6-1, we're going all in. We do have other things to focus on here. Again, at the quarterback position, we're fine. One of these two can get us over the line. I'm sure of it. They have to be able to, especially with Gibbs improving. The penalties would be insane. Running back, I'm good with leaving Kitchens there. We have 3 top wideouts that should be able to carry us. If there's injuries, then, I mean, fuck, what are you going to do? Tight end wise, we could use a second really good tight end upgrade. We could. Obviously, we could always upgrade the offensive line. Defensively, we are fine. The only question is Fowler, knowing that he wants to get overpaid. And then Flowers and Callahan, are we going to pay them a bunch of money to stay? I mean, we did spend a decent amount on Beckwith, nothing too crazy. If we were to look for that second, just really quickly, the tight end upgrade, I just want to know who else is out there. And for the most part, it's going to be our former players. But I just want to know if there's another good tight end option. So for a tight end upgrade, Buffalo have a really good option that we could target. Lonnie Reed ended up in Cleveland. Big 4-year deal for him. It'd be pretty expensive to bring Lonnie back. Carson, don't call him Crash Andrews. Bruce Conover was just drafted. 76 star dev. He's not bad. Andrews on a pretty big deal. There are a couple of decent tight ends, but again, I don't think we'd want to spend the value there. And then obviously we're going to get to our former players, the Joey Caseys of the world. Kyle Pitts is still hanging around. He's not an X Factor anymore. It's Taylor Gilkey. We could definitely look to improve in this position. I'd love to bring back Bryce Wells from the Saints. I would love to. I just want to gauge the interest for Bryce Wells. There's nothing. They're not giving him up. No shit. I wouldn't want to give him up either. He was an absolute beast for us en route to a Super Bowl. We'll stick with our number 1 there. So the biggest question then goes back to linebacker and corner. And again, if we were to improve on the right, it would have to be somebody absolutely top-notch. Otherwise, we might as well just pay who we have. Even Derek Massey is not much of an improvement. Although he is cheaper. Ooh, hold on. So that linebacker for that, we have Kansas City, who has Massey. He's not a bad option. Not a bad option at all. Beasley's 30. Mixon's 30. Again, we don't want to go for someone like Quentin Reeves because we don't want to weaken the defense that much. Even with Clayton Hanna, like, the problem is, yes, he's an X Factor. The guy's going to be a stud for the Giants. 2 X Factors at the top of the draft, by the way. That's not really that surprising, I guess. But That's a 6-point hit to our defense. Not one that I'm willing to take, given that we are Super Bowl or bust this year. Even Tremont Brown, very, very similar. Chris Ward's 32. Proctor. Okay, Proctor's only about 2 points worse. He's at least an X factor. So Proctor on the Steelers. That's an interesting one. Joe McLaughlin is 30. Proctor was a better option than him directly. So if we look at the Steelers really quickly, what did they have at corner? Gillislee, nothing too crazy. Proctor's got 3 years left in his deal. Technically, he is worse than Fowler right now. Fowler's at an 86, 29 years old, star dev. Proctor's a year younger, 2 points worse, but is an X factor, and I wouldn't have to pay an absurd amount of money for him. I think we got to go for it. I think we move on from Fowler. We still stay relatively strong. I mean, geez, we pick up an X factor. I mean, he might be 2 points worse, but 1 for 1? We got to give up a little bit more to do it, but yeah, I think we move on from Fowler. He won a Super Bowl MVP with us. He has been a phenomenal player. But we're thinking about the cap hit. I mean, again, Fowler's going to be asking for $6 million more than Proctor starting next year. And he's a year older. That's a done deal. Dante Fowler. Devin Fowler, not Dante. We had a Dante Fowler. Yeah. Devin Fowler on his way to the Steelers. For Proctor, just leaves the 2 corners as the interesting deadline moves here. From what I can tell, let me just go back really quickly, but I think it's just Callahan and Flowers that we're really concerned about now. It is. And then you got like Gio Moore and Schumer, who's been a constant 1-year signing. And I'm sure we'll have penalties heading into next year after these trades. It's a tough argument to trade Khalid Callahan. Flowers is more likely to go. But we at least need to look. But yeah, trading Callahan would hurt a lot. I mean, he's the best corner in the game. All right, whoops. Have to go to the trade screen there. T-Cage, 19 months. A strong salute to you, sir. How the heck are you? Could try to trade Callahan to get that generational cornerback Denver took. That is true. But at the same time, that's a 13 overall point hit at corner. You know? So, I mean, if we were to use Callahan to get that guy, that would be a move for the future. But we're thinking about both, but the primary is win the damn Super Bowl this year. So at corner, Cincinnati has Kirkland, who is 26 and 87 overall star dev. He'd be a great replacement for Flowers. Mackey, I'd say Kirkland's probably better. 2 points better, a little bit younger. There's Kelvin Livingston. So see, Kelvin Livingston. I mean, Jesus Christ, Denver, though. If we got Livingston to replace Callahan and then Ingram to replace Flowers, holy shit. Denver. Denver is interesting. Very, very interesting. Even if we kept Callahan and traded Flowers and then, there are options there. The Bucks have Boykin, but they don't really have the replacement for Flowers. Chargers have a dude named Strickland. The other guy was better. Chiefs have Adonis Ross. Then there's Pat Donaldson in Indy. That would also be a really good replacement for Flowers. If we could pull off that deal, we'd have to give up a lot, I'm sure. Even Walter Norwood on Dallas would be pretty good too. Right now, too. This also gives us the opportunity. There's other options aside from Irving. Gives us the opportunity to kind of see what other teams are looking like right now, too. We've been so focused on ourselves for so long, for obvious reasons. Terry. Lamar Wilcox in Seattle. Okay. And then Jaleel Harper. Isn't that bad. Really quickly. With Denver. Livingston and Ingram. This would be a batshit crazy trade. If we kept Khalid Callahan and then Eli Rose is on a steal of a deal, we could have him as our fourth damn corner. But if we moved on from Bart Flowers, what is their thought on that? Yeah, no shit. But if I add, and again, we're spitballing here. If I start adding firsts, oh yeah, there's no fucking way that's happening without Khalid Callahan. But there's no denying, like, if we can be cheesy as shit and use Flowers and draft picks to get this freaking guy without having to have paid his bonus, then why the hell not, right? He was the first overall pick. It's just not going to happen, though. They're smart. They don't want to trade him. I could probably add in 4 first-round picks, and I don't think they'd take it. Yeah, he's just not. That's not happening. Livingston, though, has an extra year left. And if we bring that guy in as the Flowers replacement, it's not the best, like, long-term decision. But holy hell, would that make our secondary just absolutely insane this season, as if it isn't already. And again, we wouldn't have to worry about signing Livingston until next season. Whereas Flowers wants the big boy deal right now. But if we use a first and a second, we have the picks to do it. And again, I think we keep Khalid Callahan. We're going to do this. We're going all in. Crash, I don't recall offhand. I think we're doing this. We're going all in. Flowers and a pick from each of the first 4 rounds to get this Kelvin Livingston guy from the Broncos. A little bit more. Might take another 3rd or another 4th. We'll try the other 4th first. I'm doing it. We're going all in. We are stacking this team. We are going to stack this damn team. This is the way. This is the way. We'll try that extra 3rd first. They want it to be another 2nd. That's okay. I'm willing to use a 2nd next year. That's fine. That is absolutely fine. Hey, Jay, what's going on? Do we pull off the blockbuster with Denver? Yes, we do. So Bart Flowers, who was looking for a big-ass contract, we used plenty of draft picks to get one of the best corners in the league as we continue to try and push this team over the edge. We're at 6-1. Maybe we're messing with the mojo too much. But this team is absolutely insane. I hate to move on from old fart blowers, but we weren't going to give him the major contract. It just wasn't going to happen. We're going to keep our quarterbacks. I am so tempted to look at upgrading at quarterback. But you would be talking about, like, I mean, we couldn't even afford Joe Burrow. I mean, yeah, it's just, it's not going to happen. You'd be talking about bringing in like a Bryce Lampman or something like that. Mahomes is still making $54 million against the cap. We got our two guys. Good for Kurt Slater on a $30 million contract, by the way. Man, that Paul Johnson guy's 28 already. That's insane. Jack Garrison, who's been the best quarterback of his generation. Ooh. X Factor 24-year-old for the Packers. Would it be worth trading our guy for this guy? He's already an X Factor. Interesting. I wasn't expecting that. Maybe we go back and talk to Green Bay and actually play that fucking guy. Then old Dennis, 62.7 million cap hit. Jesus Christ. Doug Phillips on the Steelers. That guy is guy's a steal for that cap hit. Travis, thank you. It's a few of many. This John Ainge guy, 24, is an X Factor. What is that? Gambit for his ability? It is. Can't be intercepted and have increased throw speed. Also has closer and homer. John Ainge. 76 overall. If we put that guy into our system, would he be the guy? Again, Gibbs is getting better quickly, but he's still only star dev. And then there's Cameron Harden, who I am glad that we have. Again, I like Gibbs a lot, and he has done really, really well this season. But man, we got a guy who's already an X Factor. Give him the rest of the season to develop. I don't think I can trade Logan Gibbs. Holy shit. I think Logan deserves the chance to be the guy. I think that's been decided. Logan, I'm sorry for even considering it, buddy. We got Harden as a backup if need be. I think we're good. The only thing from here that we could look to do is to try to really improve the O-line. Like, that's the last position, is the O-line. But whether or not there'd be like a super high-rated steal, like Snyder, high-rated, we're talking like 85 plus, and you could argue whether or not that's even worth it. But for the cap hits, the answer is probably no. Yeah, for the cap hit, I'm just not going to kind of get the type of player that I'm talking about. Taylor Hampton's worth that price, but we're good. We make a lot of moves at the deadline to put ourselves into, one, even better contention right now, and two, into an even better cap situation moving forward. So, a massive, massive deadline. We're showing up as an 88 rated team right now, and of course, we'll go through the roster here in a second now that it's been finalized. But yeah, Khalid Callahan is the only big name that still needs to be signed. And then fifth-year options, Deontay Franks and Chris Kitchens are the two big ones. So we should be good. We should be. Let me just kind of do all the other stuff here before we set up the depth chart. We'll sim this game against Seattle and probably lose because we changed way too much about the team. Let's set the focus on a nation level at wide receiver. I still think that's worth it, especially if we can find the next Marco Macklin. So let's see. Time to feel the pain. Dennis has always helped us out. We'll go through the weekly strategy and the player upgrades here too, because we haven't upgraded players in a few weeks because we wanted to make sure contract values were down if we re-signed certain people. As far as I know, all the same dudes can keep those dev slots. That's fine there. Number 1 offense, 15th ranked defense at the deadline. We'll see. We'll see where it keeps us. Oh, man. Feels good to buy at the deadline for the first time in a while, though, compared to the last 2 years getting rid of some people. 95 is what it's showing our defensive rating right now. And it's about to get better. King Tut. Still a legitimate 92 overall. We'll make him better as a run stopper. Make that a legitimate 93 overall for the reigning rookie and defensive player of the year, Ben Tuttle. Jesus. Just a monster. Chris Kitchens gets 2 upgrade points here. We'll continue to make him better as an elusive back and as a receiving back. There's really no point in trying to up the power of his game. And he is rocking an 84 overall with the +3, obviously, to get him up to an 87. Very, very good. Again, 24 years old. This is the guy we cashed in Cameron Walton for, and so far it seems to be a good choice. And then our quarterback, Logan Gibbs, who, 16 touchdowns, no picks so far this season. We'll see how long that lasts, but my goodness, rocking an 80 overall. If this guy goes X Factor, he's going to end up being the best quarterback in the league. That's a big if, but you never know. Marco Macklin, who we just re-signed to a new contract. Will he hit a 99 legit? Not quite. He is still a 98. But Marco, we gave him the big bucks, and rightfully so. Sheldon Steele. Also improving, now a legitimate 87. Again, still feel like it was worth trading our franchise quarterback for this guy. Holy friggin' upgrade points. Then again, we haven't done this in a couple of weeks, so it makes sense. DeAndre McGee, who of course went X Factor in the offseason. He's up to a legitimate 84 in his big-ass head. Junior Beckwith, who just got a brand new contract. Up to an 82, playing like an 83. Very good, Junior. Drafted defensive tackle that was supposed to go in the 3rd or 4th round. Why'd you post it twice in 5 seconds? Superstar X Factor, Fearmonger. Damn. 3rd, 4th round, though, huh? And you took him in the 1st. I don't blame you for not wanting to risk it, though, in terms of like, oh shit, someone else might know he's that good. Deontay Ingram, up to an 82. That's a lot of freaking upgrade points there. Jesus. Jesus. We're almost done with wanting to upgrade these people one by one. I changed some wording. I mean, the same thing. Well, I guess he did give a little bit more detail. Kind of. We can auto-upgrade the rest here. Not as big of a deal. So let's take a look, then, at the roster and then the depth chart for your 6-1 Arizona Cardinals, as different as they might be now. But yeah, this team is primed for another championship run. Obviously, at quarterback, it looks weaker than it actually is because Logan Gibbs is performing out of his skull. Chris Kitchens at running back, who's playing like an 87 right now. 79 rated fullback. And again, at wideout, Macklin, Brandon Bush, and now Deontay Franks, who is here. Tight end, Deontay Ingram. The O-line is technically out of sorts, but I mean, you see the ratings here. It's basically all the left tackles that are playing. So the O-line's actually better than I would have thought, because the morale of the team is outstanding. And shout out to Big Dave Meltzer. The D-line, Corbin Williams, a.k.a. Chest, playing like a 95. Ben Tutt playing like a 94. And then Steele and DeAndre McGee at DT. Linebackers, we now add Tim Taggart into the mix from Chicago. Still got Damian Johnson in the middle, and now Carlos Proctor on the right. So 2 new options. I'm a Cards fan. I am not. I am a Patriots fan. But we elected to use the Cards for this. And then look at this. Khalid Callahan and Kelvin Livingston with Eli Rose. This team has to win. This team is so stupidly stacked. We have to win. We have to.